Michael Buckles.
Matt Santoro. Hey everybody, it's Michael Buckley. I'm here with Matt Santoro. You know him. You love him. We've known each other. We met like in the elevator at VidCon 2010.
Yes. And you were having some sort of contest on stage, and I really hoped
Buck
you were...
Factor.
Yes, and I was really hoping you were going to pick me because I had like 10,000 subscribers. And I was like, hey Michael, just, remember me? And you didn't pick me, but that's okay, because now we're like best friends.
Look at you now, though.
Look at me now.
Look at how it all works out for the best. So tell people at home what types of video you make. You do
mostly hair tutorials. No.
This is the before and after.
The before and after. No. I do a lot of stuff now.
Yes.
So now I run 3 separate channels. I do infotainment videos on my main, vlogs on my second, and gaming videos on my third.
Do you love video games?
You know what? There was once a point where I went on the record as saying I think gaming is stupid. I think that it's not like a real form of entertainment, and I'll admit I was wrong, because once I started gaming, I was like, A, this is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
B, it's a new way to challenge myself because I've been doing so much of the same stuff for so long.
Yeah.
I need to start a new channel, right? So I tried something new and I love it. I genuinely think it's a lot of fun. And you know what? It's a lot of work. So I have a whole new respect for people like, Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Steve Zaragoza.
Yeah. Who? It's funny how when you judge another genre of video and then you try and do it, you're like, oh, I was completely
it's
wrong.
A lot of work.
These girls who put blush on, these bitches, then you try and put blush on. It's difficult.
I try that all the time and I can never get my blush right.
I also like, you look amazing today. I also like what you just said because you corrected yourself. And I think when you're in the public eye or even anybody and you tweet something, people are like, oh, remember when you said this? And you know what? The president of the United States, you
should be anti-gay.
Do you remember? You can change your mind about things, and that's life.
Yes, there is a video actually of Barack Obama online when he was a senator saying that marriage is between a man and a woman, and I'm anti-gay marriage and I voted against it. And now he's the president and he changed his ways, and that's okay. That's great. People are allowed to change their opinion. It's not something bad. It's a good thing. He realized, you know what? This isn't making people happy. It's not an okay thing to say, so I'm going to change my stance.
Right.
And people shouldn't be vilified for that. They should be celebrated. Great. You were this way. You're not that way anymore.
Right.
Don't hold them to that.
People are doing that with Hillary now, too. They're saying, like, she doesn't think that way anymore, and she doesn't vote that way anymore, so let's just look forward.
Right.
And also, I mean, as someone who's become very successful in a relatively short time, I love when people, like, tweet or say things about people, like, they've changed. I'm like, well, I hope they have.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
okay, I said that a long time ago. I completely 100% agree with you. When people say, oh, you've changed.
Not that guy I met in the elevator in 2010.
Yeah.
You're not.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want you to be.
Well, less hair now, too. No, but to be honest with you, I think that never changing is the worst fate you could ever have. If you were the exact same person from the age of 10 to 90, to me, that is the worst fate that could ever be wished upon somebody, because that's what life is. It's a growing process. You grow as a person, you learn things. So to never change, to never grow your consciousness, and to never become a better person is the worst fate I think anyone could ever have.
I completely agree. So on this channel, I've been talking to my YouTube friends about like challenges and struggles and how did they overcome them. And so is there anything in your life or any point in your life that you had like a major obstacle and you struggled with, and how did you overcome it? What were your strategies?
I used to do a lot of black tar heroin, still do.
I could. I just seriously like. No, you got the veins for drugs.
No, just kidding. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
Just say no. Just say no.
Just say no. No, but I think the biggest struggle, and I'm very public about this, the biggest struggle I've ever had was the transition from being regular little Matt Santoro from a small town to suddenly having at the end of 2014, 3.5 million to now 5.3 million subscribers, and having all this attention on me. And that transitionary period was the hardest time in my life because I didn't know who I was. Mm-hmm. For the first time in a long time, I didn't know who I was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And that caused a lot of trouble in my life. People came into my life that were bad for me, that maybe the old Matt wouldn't have let into their life, but I let them into my life because I was like, you know what? Yeah, like, this person's making me feel like a rock star. I am super famous, and like they blew up my ego, and like I can honestly say I wasn't a good person, but I'm blessed enough to say though that over the last 6 months I've really grown as a person. and I've finally realized who I am, which I am still just that guy. I just have a lot of attention on me.
Right.
And I think it's really important to always stay humble and stay to your roots because, you know, I'm lucky that I went through that, a rough transitionary period, but I made it. Like, I didn't come out somebody that was like, you know, there's like I don't have a good example, but somebody that is just a bad person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because some people that happens. They find fame, they find money, whatever, and it completely changes them, changes not only them as a person, but what they believe in, their values, and they start doing bad things. And I'm glad that, you know, I mean, you know me,
Right.
I'm pretty much the same.
Money and fame, I mean, if you're a good person, it just makes you more generous and kind and lovely.
Exactly.
And if you're a horrible person, it just exacerbates that you're a horrible person. So 6 months ago, what do you think it was? What were the keys to help you get to a better place? Like, what made you start to be in a better place?
I literally just woke up.
Yeah.
I was miserable. I didn't like who I was. I was with somebody that was making me miserable. I was with somebody that was making me feel like I just didn't feel right in my heart. You know when you just feel like that's the thing. Like, people overthink things. At the end of the day, look at this is gonna sound really cheesy, but it's true. Look at feel what you're feeling. Recognize it. If you feel icky about something, if your heart doesn't feel right about something, stop. Just stop. And that goes for anything in life. It goes for if you're in a job you don't like, it's not always this easy, but maybe start looking for something that is your passion.
Right.
If you're in a relationship and you just feel icky about it, get out of it. People are afraid to be alone.
Yeah,
you know, and and they end up getting married and stuff like that, and maybe they weren't supposed to, but they thought, well, okay, like, you know, and you have some experience with that, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of the opposite. I'm afraid to get married.
Right.
So we're kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum, but I think it's just important to really pay attention to your gut. Because your gut will never lie to you. Your heart will never lie to you. If something doesn't feel right, you can't fake that. It's this icky feeling you get. And if something's right, on the other hand, you know it. You just know it. There's no words for it. Your heart feels at ease, and that's the stuff you should lean towards.
Well, it's great to see you and hear you say all these things because I can tell you are in a good place because I always see you at these events and I know when you're in a bad place and I see it. And again, we're on the dance floor having the time of our lives, but when we sit down and talk, or one night, I think we were at dinner, it was like 2 times ago, and I was like, man, rough. Like, I can just see it, you know. Right?
Could you actually?
Yeah, and you weren't laughing. Oh yeah,
I wasn't laughing.
You weren't laughing like that. Like, you were
That's
just
what I
you
mean.
were very burdened. You were very burdened.
I was, and there was a lot on my mind. But you can see now that, like,
I can.
You know, and that's the way. Like, I feel like I you know, that's part of what the magic of YouTube is what we're doing right now is like we have life experiences and we're sharing that with you guys. So for anyone watching, honestly, I would just recommend look at your own life. Like, think about it for yourself. Where can you improve on your own life, and think about things that you might not be happy with and realize things that you are happy with and focus on those and get rid of the ones you're not, and don't be afraid to end things that aren't good for you. Be brave. That's all I have to say.
Very good life lessons from Matt Santoro. I wanna see you be brave. What you wanna say? Thank you for watching. Check him out. I love you so much.
I love
Thanks
you,
for being
buddy.
on my channel. Thanks for
And we're
sharing
kinda
your
matching.
story. We planned this.
Look like a vanilla milkshake.
We did.
Yum.
What's happening? What the motherfucker? What are the origins of our friendship? How do you think when we saw each other, and it was always like that, we just kind of fell into each other like we had been friends forever, but we hadn't.
We instantly connected. I don't know why. There's like a kinship or some sort of where our hearts are in the right place, or I don't know what it is.
I think so. We always end up just having great conversations about life and all that stuff. So but we've never been on camera together. So
okay, hold
I think
on.
the internet might ship this.
This is, I hope it, because this shit.
Zara Buckley.
Zara Buckley.
I think we have to have a better
Michael
couple name.
Goza?
Michael Goza.
Wait,
Stike. Steichel. I ship Steichel. Michael and Steve.
Listen.
Stuck. Buck. That is the best.
I love it. Hashtag
Buck
stuck.
and Steve. Stuck.
Stuck together.
I ship stuck.
I like